And welcome back to the conversation. Another beautiful day here in Naples, Florida, and I got my good friend Andy Robinson with us today, and he's here in Naples as well. So let us know who's out there and where you're at this morning, so we can welcome you and we can celebrate each other. We've been doing this long enough now; it feels like family almost. We've got to know each other. I think we're all comfortable now, and it's just great. And Kristen, great to see you pop in there first. Good morning from Sarasota, beautiful Sarasota. I'm going to be up there. I told you October. Now I'm up there in September. Lori changed the date on me. So I'll see you in September in Sarasota. Mark, good seeing you from Lake Mary. Yes, beautiful Lake Mary. Julianne, good seeing you. Carrie, good to see you. Hey there. And hope all is well. Keep coming. Celebrate each other this morning. Say hello. Good morning. While they're doing that, and we'll keep an eye on it, I tell you, we're really excited about today. Hey, Patrick, good seeing you. I'm assuming you're on the other coast. And Rebecca, good to see you. Carrie, good to see you from the beautiful state capital this morning. Hey, Robin Langton, old friend. Allison, how are you this morning? Stephanie. Oh, what a great crowd. We're going to have fun this morning. You know, this is the wrap up, right? We've been together for 26 weeks now, and we've had some great conversations. I think we've talked about some incredibly important. Hey, Sam, how you doing? Rochelle, how you doing? And Stephanie again, good morning. Good morning. Dave, good seeing you. Nicole, what a crowd. I love it. Love it. Love it. Chipley, Florida. Beautiful Chipley, Florida. So we're wrapping today, but it's just the beginning of a journey is our hope. We do plan to, hey, Angela, how you doing? And Virginia, good to see you. We do plan to keep this going. We're discussing how to make that happen, but we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. Leadership, such an important mission of the Florida Press Association, the SNPA Foundation that sponsored this as well. All of those organizations and the team behind the scenes that you're going to meet a little later, all are committed to leadership, as are Andy and I. We're going to try to figure out a way to make sure that we have series 2 of this conversation, and we'll keep you informed on that. Today, Andy and I really want to talk about application, right? We've really gotten into some great topics over this series. I've learned a lot from you doing the work on these. I think Andy would tell you some of the most fun of what we do is the preparation, how we continue to learn as we think about how to help others think more critically about leadership, about their business, keep aware of current trends and things that are important for leaders to be aware of and have a conscious about. It enriches our heart, and you engaging with each other and in this process encourage us and enrich us as well. So we want to thank you for that. Hey, Scott, good to see you this morning. But what we're going to talk about today is really putting it all together, right? So we've talked about a lot of practices and principles. Now it's about application. We want to empower, right? A word that has somewhat been used a lot, but it's a valuable, important word when you start thinking about the comprehensive aspects of leadership and putting it all together and applying those skills and those experiences and those lessons. So we feel through this program, you now have the power and are empowered yourself, and you are empowering others through your skills, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to turn this into action, right? You are empowered. You are at the stage to be able to eliminate the ordinary and elevate to the extraordinary. And you have the power to do that. And you are prepared, as well as any group I've ever been with, to go out and make a difference in your business, in your life, in your community, with the skills that you're developing and the passion you have for this leadership. So what Andy's going to talk about a little bit this morning is how to think about that from yourself point of view, empower yourself to empower others. So let's start with you. You are an important asset to any organization, but you're important as an individual, and it starts with you. And Andy's going to talk about self-care and some of the other tools that he applies, and I think you're going to learn a lot from this. But you're the product. You matter the most to us. So Andy, take it away.
Thanks, Bill, and welcome. Great to see you all again. It does begin with you. It begins with us. It begins with us as individuals. We can't be effective as leaders. We can't inspire others. We can't take others on a journey together if we're not taking care of ourselves first. And when I work with my CEO level clients, we bring self-care into the conversation early into the process, and it's an ongoing conversation. It's something that constantly needs attention and constantly needs work. I've got clients that have got it down, but it is a process, and it's a process for me. It's something that I personally work on. I've got my own executive coach that holds me accountable to that, as does my wife. When I start talking about extreme self-care, the metaphor I like to use is the airplane metaphor. Is you've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can take care of others. You can't be effective if you're not taking care of yourself. And when I talk about extreme self-care, I frame it in what I call the 5 E's of extreme self-care. And those 5 E's are exercise, eating or diet, environment, and I'm going to come back to environment in a minute because I wrote a newsletter article on environment this year, one of the 5 E's. Education, which is lifelong learning, constantly getting better, reaching out, finding that material, whether it's material like this or books or whatever to bring into your life. And then ethos, which is spirit or your beliefs or whatever you want to call that, faith or spirit or belief section. So exercise, eating, environment, education, and ethos, which is a Greek word, a Greek philosophy word for spirit and beliefs. All of those are equally important. And if you're not weaving all of those into your life on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to be effective in a sustainable way with your team. And then as a leader, it's important to role model those things to your team. Demonstrate that you've got that you've committed to those 5 E's or to extreme self-care, and that you can ask your team members to do the same. We can't ask someone to do something that we're not doing ourselves. So begin with you, bring this into your life, and think about what it might mean for you individually, as well as your team at work and your team outside of work, your family and your friends and social environment. I want to talk a little bit about E, the third E, environment. And environment is the things that you construct around you in order to provide a self-caring, nurturing environment around you. I love this article by Charlie Jones. He's a business strategist, someone that I follow. He's an author. You'll be the same person in 5 years you are today, except for the people that you meet and the books that you read. We all are a function of that circle of people that we've chosen. It's our choice to be around. We can choose to be around inspiring people. We can choose to be around uplifting people, or we can choose to be around negative people. And then the books you read. And I like to broaden that books you read to articles you read, to videos you watch, to webinars that you attend, bringing more of that into your life. So when I think about my environment and what I've tried to do to set an environment that inspires me and allows me to enter the day in a positive way, in an empowered way, ready to go, calm, but ready to go, empowered to move forward. It's about surrounding myself with family members and friends that inspire me. That's one. Wherever I am, in my house or my office, there's always a stack of books that I'm in the process of reading. So I like to keep books in my line of sight. That's part of my environment because they call me. They remind me to pick them up. When I pick up my phone, on the very first page of my phone is my Kindle app. It's calling me. When I have that 5 minutes of downtime, I can jump into a book that I was reading, pick back up, and start all over. I like to make sure I spend and get time outdoors. I think outdoor time is very important to an environment that inspires you, that makes you feel good. It's about what you watch and what you read. I am very selective about the broadcast media that I read and the books that I read and the articles that I read. David Perell wrote a really interesting article. David is a writer himself, and is the author of the blog and the book, The Rite of Passage, right as in WRITE, Rite of Passage. And he talks about abundance and scarcity in our society and how we're surrounded with this abundance of negativity. He mentioned that he was on his way to a client's site and had stopped and was looking around him, and all around him were fast food places. We've got plenty of abundant choices of bad things. The scarcity piece is you have to go looking for those good things. You've got to look for those places that are healthy places to eat. You've got to figure out what you can order on those fast food menus that are healthy choices. So scarcity and abundance. There's abundance of negative media out there. There's an abundance of negative articles that are drawing us in. They're emotionally pulling us in. The scarcity is being strategic about what you find, strategic about what you look for, strategic about what you read. I read a lot, but I'm very selective. So that's part of that environment, creating that environment around you that provides a nurturing way to uplift you and, again, enter the day in a positive way. I keep my desk organized, paper-free, and make sure that there's nothing cluttering around me that's calling my attention. Papers sitting on your desk are going to call your attention. A clear desk is a much better way of allowing yourself to be free and creative. And then keeping good food choices around me. I keep food choices in my office that are healthy. I keep food choices at home. I keep food choices in my car. I keep food choices in my briefcase when I'm traveling. So again, think about your environments. Think about what's surrounding you, what's calling you. Is it negative things or is it positive things? And bring that into your life in a positive way. Think about what those things are and what you can change about those things to help inspire you and to provide you with a sense of peace and calm and inspiration as you enter your day. That's the E of the 5 E's environment. And Bill, I'll be glad to answer any questions, but I did want to mention the 5 E's and go deeply into environment.
Well, I think that's great advice for everybody, right? And that kicks our day off. And I got to tell you, Andy, I appreciate having Andy in my life because he inspires me. He holds me accountable, and I need it. I looked around at a lot of clutter drawing my attention as you were speaking, and I'm like, okay, I've got work to do. I think we all learn from each other. One of the things Andy and I do as together here is work up with a group associated with our local hospital too, called the Blue Zones. And it's a group that has basically studied what creates an environment where people can be a centurion, live to over 100 years old. And the mantra of that group really is make the healthy choice the easy choice, right? And I think there's a lot of lessons in that. One of the other things, Andy, we've talked about as a group, and I think you touched on it, is the importance of a support team, right? So if you look at athletes or you look at any high performer, yes, they've got a group of support around them that's helping them be positive and helping them think and stay in discipline. We talked a lot about a disciplined day. You and I have talked a lot about essentialism, right? How to not get distracted by the trivial many and focus on the essential few, those type of techniques. One of the things I've advised, people have advised me, have a personal board of directors. Remember, we are important. Us collectively as individuals, we're very important. Oh, yeah. Carrie says it's bad timing to mention it's National French Fry Day today. Yes, the environment is a big driver. And I like Julianne's comment about self-care is definitely best. If you can't be your best, you don't feel your best. And Beretta's jumping in there with good stuff. So encourage everybody to create an environment, but also have a team of support that holds you accountable, that you trust. Angela says, music moves me, so I started every morning with great tune, coffee, and yoga. Right. That's right, no better. And Andy uses a term that he didn't say today, but conquer the morning, you conquer the day, right, Andy?
You do, yeah. That's a Tim Ferriss quote, and it's a powerful quote because that's a great way to launch, is to conquer your morning.
Yeah, great way to launch. So what we want to talk about just briefly, and then we're going to bring some people on to help us have some fun here, is, we talk about empower yourself, empower others, eliminate ordinary, and elevate to the extraordinary. And what we think about when we think about empower is really around these. Hey, Lori, good seeing you. Examine the heart is the E, and we're going to get into these at the Capstone a lot deeper. Motivate the mind. See, that's a lot of what we talked about. Launch, how you start, right? When we think about examine the heart, we think about things like mold the motivations, pinpoint the priorities, identify the intentions, ignite the passion, right? In that important? We talk about motivate the mind. We think about that around discourage, doubt, right? Get that out of there. Energize enthusiasm and replace that doubt with enthusiasm. Instill inspiration. Move the mission forward, right? The P, prepare with purpose. We think about things like share the goal passionately, right? Inspire a vision. Remember one of the leadership principles. Chart the course clearly. Promote the plan persuasively, right? Have a passion. Make people see that plan come into vision through your passion, your persuasiveness. Designate the duties discerningly. I think that's very important. We've talked about that a lot, Andy. The discernment of how we deploy and ask of others is enrich the importance of what they bring. Optimize opportunities. Leverage individual super strengths. Right. Lift more leaders. Raise response readiness. I love that. Raise response readiness and craft unconventional ideas for uncommon solutions. Win with integrity is the W. Have humility. Express gratitude and genuine enthusiasm. Convey confidence in success. Recognize and reward contributions of others. The E is elevate the essentials. One of the things we just were touching on. Eliminate the unnecessary. Indicate the importance. Lift everyone higher. Excel at efficiency, right? And then realize the rewards. Gain respect and recognition in your field. Grow market share. Gather higher revenues and stimulate surging success. I think you put all that together, and Andy, I know you would agree, you will eliminate the ordinary and elevate to the extraordinary.
No question.
So what we're going to do now, hey, Kat, thanks for that. Andy, she's giving you a little love there, the light you needed this morning. That's great. Thanks.
Thank you, Kat. I very much appreciate that comment. That makes my morning.
All right, so bring in the team. So we want to bring in the team behind the scenes that have made this possible all year long. So Jim, Karen, Jody, come on out front and join Andy and I and let everybody show you some love. Because I can tell you, team, if it was not for this group, Andy and I get out front some, but if it was not for this group, this would not have been possible. And we also want to give a shout out to the SMPA Foundation. Jody and Jim worked really hard to put together a proposal that they supported that made this possible. And we're going to go back to them to try to convince them that we've had a lot of success and built a great network here. And we want to continue this conversation. We're going to continue to build upon. We've not done that to the level we wanted to, but we've got a LinkedIn page continuing the conversation there. Andy and I are going to commit to putting some content out on that pretty regularly along with the rest of the team. And so that is kind of what our plan is today. So Jim, Jody, Karen, thank you. Jump in there.
Hey, Bill, I'll jump in first. And I don't know where 26 weeks went, but it flew on by. And I know the word this morning's environment. I know, Andy gave a deep dive in that. But for me this morning, my word is grateful. And I am grateful for you and Rita and Andy and my partner in crime, Jody Bell, Karen Tower. Thomas is not on from Sandpaper Marketing, but it does take a village. And just want to thank those folks that help, build the sausage behind the scenes, yes. and also thank all of our followers, our leaders that are on these calls, because without that engagement, we wanted to create this network, which we feel like we've done, and we're excited to meet everybody in person in 3 weeks in Ponte Vedra, and just real excited about that. So thank you.
And I have to add one more. Jim mentioned Rita, but I got to tell you, if it wasn't for my partner in this business, but also my wife of 38 years doing the research and the writing, the depth of the conversations we've been able to have would just not been possible. I tried to get her to come in here and join me this morning, but she's camera shy right now. But I just couldn't not thank her, because she has put a lot of work into enriching this content. And I hope you've found it worthwhile.
I want to say that Bill, Rita, you guys have done an excellent job. It's been great. And as Jim said, I don't know where 26 weeks went, but here we are. Just a reminder, we're looking forward to seeing most of you, I believe, in Ponte Vedra. We'll kick off the Leadership Capstone program at 10 o'clock on August 3rd. So 10 o'clock sharp. Be there, be in your seat, and get ready for a great day. Also, the very next day, the 2022 Florida Media Conference will kick off. And we've got 2 packed days of great sessions, opportunities to network. So don't miss out. There's still time to register. Registration's open for another week. So join us.
And this is the topics that we're going to be talking about. And we look forward to seeing everyone there. Karen, thanks for all the work you've done on that conference. But our takeaway for you as we're running out of time is apply what you've learned from these conversations to empower yourself and to empower others. And until we meet in Ponte Vedra, lead on.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.